Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have all of my journals that I think I shared in the beginning of the year that I was going to be using this year, and I think these are all of them. I took some out. Some of them I've abandoned, some of them that I've kept, some of them I've returned to. Yeah, I wanted just to do a sort of state of the union of my journals and planners because I've been thinking about the journals and the planners that I am going to keep next year, like we all are around this time. So yeah, I just wanted to see what has been working, what hasn't. And I think these are the six? I have 6 here. I'm looking at my shelf to see if there's anything else. I think the only outstanding one is probably my Daybook of Dreams, which I talked about in my last video, but I'm not going to just pull that out again because I haven't done much of anything in that except for glue in bigger magazine images and clippings that I wanted to keep. I actually went ahead and sat down and glued some of that stuff in. So that one would be just a work in progress. Now, I want to first talk about the books that I've abandoned. And one of them I've already talked about, which was this one, which is the Joy Journal, and how I really would love to finish it, or not finish it, but go back into it. This one was actually started in 2024. So for the most part, the beginning is all filled up except for the places where I have a sticky note, and that is where I can fill up. But my intention for this year was to go back in and add some more memories, add some more things that brought me joy in here, and I just haven't done it at all. I think I think I talked about this in my last video, but I just need to print. I guess I need to go through those images that I have on my desktop that I put into a folder specifically for this and just see what I have there and print out what I want to print out, and then have everything printed, and then kind of maybe make a kit, make a small kit of just shop my stash. So how I work is that every time I have one of these little journals, I make a small kit that matches the sort of feel of this journal, and that is what I use when I journal. And I've always done that. I think every time I made an art journal, I would always make a little kit, because that's the only way I can use up my stash, is if I make a tiny little kit to use up. I make it per journal because each journal has a certain aesthetic, and I like to keep to that color scheme and that aesthetic. But it's sort of similar to how Lydia from February and June does her capsules, every month, just taking stuff from their stash and putting it into a tiny little kit and then using that up for a thing. I just do it per journal or per project, and I feel like I need to do it for this. So once I have the photos printed out and maybe collect any poems and quotes, I tend to save a lot of poetry and quotes on Instagram. When I see them on Instagram, I put them into a little saved folder, and that's usually where I go to actually write down certain things. I just need to do that. I just need to go and collect the things, have them all ready, create a little kit, and then just sit down and work through this. But that's something that I've kind of abandoned this year, and I'm really, really hoping to get back into it. But, I say that and then I never get back into it. So for next year, I don't think I'm gonna do this again, and if I do, it might look differently, even though I love this and I love this planner. And I saw that Katie Daisy just released the new planners for 2026, and they're so pretty, but I cannot justify getting this because I technically use it as a journal and I don't need another planner. And this was fun. It's so pretty, and I really just need to finish it. It's just one of those things that I just need to finish. So that's the state of this one. The other one that I want to talk about that you haven't seen on here in a while is this one, which is my one little word binder. If you remember, I made this out of a Kelly Ray Roberts 2025 planner. It's a spiral planner that I just repurposed the covers and made it into a ring binder, and it's sort of B6 sized, and you've seen these pages. I haven't done anything else beyond February. I am serious. Like, this is the bookmark. All I did was, I think, prep my March pages so that I can do a journaling that I did not do. And then April has all the things in here that I need to get in here. And like, I put the side by side. Like, I have all the things that need to go in here. And I did not do April, and then Lord knows, didn't do anything else. And so I have no idea if I'm going to go back into this. It is August. It's the beginning of August, like right at the beginning of August. And yeah, I don't know. I've been missing all of the one little word calls, and I haven't looked at the classroom since May, and I don't know. I was all in it in the beginning and just kind of fell out of it. I've only ever successfully done one little word 1 year, and that was, I think, 2022. It was either 2022 or 2021. It was my Susanna Conway This I Know book that I altered for one little word. It was that year, whenever that year was, I don't remember. It's either 2021 or 2022. That was the only time that I was ever successful in completing one little word and actually doing it from start to finish. And it sucks because when I'm in it, I love it. And then when I fall off of it, it's very, very hard for me to get back into it. And that is just me and things that are dated or like have like a certain set schedule. It's like that. Like, this is why I don't like dated things. I feel if I'm following dates, like one little word you're following monthly, if I'm just following set dates, like once I fall behind, that's it. I get that whole, oh my God, I'm so behind kind of feeling. And it makes me like stagnant, you know, I kind of stonewall and like I don't finish. I don't start up again. So yeah, probably not going to do one little word next year. I wouldn't be surprised if one little word, this project sort of manifests itself in something different, because that is what I do. But yeah, this one, I have no idea where I am in this one, which is unfortunate because this binder is so beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised if I at some point repurpose it for something else, because usually that's what I do when I don't finish something. I will just keep what I want to keep and then repurpose it for a different project. And maybe I repurpose it for a future one little word. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not going to talk about it anymore because it is one of those that it failed me. Okay, that leaves these four. And I want to say the two most consistent things out of these four are these two right here. This represents multiple journals, but this has been my one thing. So let's talk about this and then we'll go through the other books that I have here. So this is my Filofax pocket, my Domino Soft. This one is the duck egg. I have them in like every color, and every so often I'll switch up the colors. Like last month I was in the yellow one, and before that I was in the blue one, and before that I was in the purple one, the lilac one, and I think at some point I was in my pink one as well. Now I'm in the duck egg, have them in different colors. I absolutely love my Filofax pocket, specifically the Dominoes. I like journals and binders with the string, and I don't like straps. Like I have planners with the strap, and they're beautiful planners. Just don't use them because I hate the straps. I love the string. I like anything that is a TN style. This is a faux Hobonichi cover, and this is an actual Hobonichi cover. And I hate the butterfly pen loops on these Hobonichi covers. Do not like them. I prefer something with the band, or even like without the band. This one doesn't really need the band. I just made a band for it and just put it on. This one doesn't really need the band either, but it actually helps once it starts getting chunkier. But I just prefer bands. Rubber bands. I love TNs. TNs with bands. I don't like snaps, strap things. Yeah. So these pocket rings, I love them so much. I love the size of it. don't use pocket inserts in my pocket Filofax. I actually use, I mean, I make my own inserts, but I believe they're called Pocket Plus, right? Pocket Plus inserts, but they're basically, if we go to the Cocoa Daisy inserts that I have in here, they're basically Passport TN sized inserts. So I have this one dated June to the rest of the year, but pretty much I use my monthly. So I will leave a link down below in the description box to this printable. I believe it's a free printable that's on my website, but it's just a blank 2-page monthly, and you print it out on a sheet like this. You cut it down, and then I tell you where to fold. You fold it between the Friday and the Saturday line, and you literally get to, these are Pocket Plus, or again, Passport TN sized inserts. And I love this because I mostly plan my life in a monthly calendar. And pretty much I've always been like gravitated towards planning on a monthly, and this just makes it bigger. And I believe, I want to say that these boxes are similar to the Hobonichi A6 monthly boxes, because I think these, yeah, okay, so they're a little bigger, they're a little wider, they're the same height but a little wider, because these little post-it notes fit perfectly in the Hobonichi squares. And then in here, there's some space on the side. So they're the same height, they're just a little bit wider. And I love that. I love having all that space to basically put stickers and put these little post-it notes. These little post-it notes, I got them, I know I picked them up in Japan. They're not in here. They're back here. I picked them up in Japan, but you can get them on jet pens. I know for a fact that you can get them on jet pens. I've seen them on jet pens because I put them in my wish list in case I run out of these. They come in 4 different sets, like 4 different color sets. I have all 4 of them. I will leave a link below to these, and it's the same brand as these sticky notes. This is a grid. It's very faint. It's a pink and then the white grid. I picked up, I think, yeah, these come in different, it's like a pack, and there's different colors, so there's a blue one next. When I was in Tokyo, I was looking for sticky notes that had a grid or a dot grid or something. I hate the blank ones because I can't write in a straight line without a line, and grid would have been perfect. I found these, I think these were Beverly. I will leave the link down below to jet pens because I have seen these on jet pens. So these, I use these a lot. These are just blank, so I have to try my best to write straight. But yeah, I use them here in this monthly, and I use them in my Hobonichi as well in the monthly sections as well. And they fit perfectly in the boxes. I don't like writing directly on my inserts because plans change, and all I have to do when they do change is lift this up and move it to the day that it has changed. So you can see these here, these were events that I didn't go to, and so I just put them on the side. This one though, I'm gonna put this one here in August because I did submit for this 222 event. Let's hope I get it. And so I'm gonna put that there just in case. But yes. So that's what I have here. I have my monthly, and yeah, this planner is like my catch-all. I put all of my events, all of my artist dates, all of my doctor's appointments, all of the days that I have off, all of the everything goes in here, and that's pretty much how I write it. What I use the blank, so in this printable, I give you the monthly, and it's undated. The only thing, I give you one monthly view for each month, so this will say June or April or May, etc., and then that will be Monday through Sunday. It's a Monday start, and it's undated, so I go in and write all my days. I give you this for every single month, like this view for every single month, and then I give you some grid paper. So what I tend to do is when I print all 12 pages, I just feed them back into my printer and then print off 12 grid pages on the backs of them, so that when I cut them out and punch them, this side is grid, then my monthly, then this side is grid. And how I use them is I just make a list of orders that I'm expecting, and I have that at the start of the month because I like to track what I have purchased and what is coming to my home. On this little leaflet, I'm showing you all of my things. I tend to write down the subscriptions that are charging on this day, or any store credit cards that I've bought stuff on. I like to track it all here. So usually my subscriptions, and then not every subscription. I don't have monthly subscriptions. The only monthly subscriptions I have are Netflix and Apple. And so those are reoccurring, but then I have one-off subscriptions that renew every year, and I just use that to track that. And then this, I'm showing you all the things. I track my, not so much expenses. I charge everything. I put everything on a credit card. Like, don't get me started. I pay everything with a credit card if I can. If I can't, then that's just the exception. But I pay everything with a credit card, and then at the end of the statement period, I pay off the cards. And so I have 2 cards, and this is one and this is the other. And so this is where I track everything that I charge on those cards, because that works for me. I'm using the bank's money and I'll just pay it back. I had a really bad experience using my debit card and paying that way. And yeah, so I never use my debit card, like, ever. If I need to get cash, I go to my bank's ATM machine and I'll take out what I need, but that's very rare that I do that. I don't pay anything with debit. Everything goes onto a credit card. I'm good with credit. Like, that's why I use that to track what I charge. And I give myself a limit every month for each card. And sometimes I go over, because depending, a lot of the times it's if I need something for the home, or if I need to pay, a dental bill or something like that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to go over, but I try to keep myself on a limit. I budget food shopping. Everything is budgeted on those 2 cards, and that's it. I pretty much don't use cash. Everything goes on the card. So I need those pages there to track that. And so, yeah, so I use one part of the grid for that. And then I usually put a grid piece of paper in between that and the Cocoa Daisy inserts. I'm going to talk about these in a sec. And I'll just use this back page for just random notes. A lot of the times it's food lists. Over here, I was tracking how much I spend on my website and hosting and everything that I need for my website and my online classes and all the things. And so that's kind of what I use these pages for. So I subscribe to the Cocoa Daisy Mini Daisy Dory, which is their Passport TN insert. And I don't have one handy right now. See, it's just a Passport TN. It comes in like a little craft cover, and these are the pages. What I do is I take the staples out of the insert and I just pull out these pages. There are 5 pages in the beginning that are, let me see, do I have a blank one or just one that doesn't have any writing on it? It's like this. It's 5 pages of Monday through Sunday, and it's colored block. They don't have the numbers. Those are stickers that I put on, but it's 5 pages of those, and then the corresponding 5 pages on the back, right? Those, yeah. And so I take out those first 5 pages and I cut them in half, and then I take the ones that have the color blocks, which are just 5, and I hole punch them for this planner. And that gives me 5 weeks to do weekly journaling. So I basically this little setup is kind of like the Hobonichi weeks, or I'm trying to think of what other planner is like this. I think one of the Midori planners are like this, or the Muji planner. The Muji planner is like this, where it's a weekly and then a blank page. Mine is just reversed. This is the weekly and this is the blank page. I mean, I guess I can't hole punch here because that's where the Monday through Sunday is. So it works for me. It's pretty much the same concept. This is a weekly and then the blank page. And again, the blank page I use for jotting down notes and things and stuff like that. So for the weeklies, I date them. I use these clear stickers that I got from some Maggie Holmes planner, and I use them to pretty much jot down all the things that are in here on the appropriate day. And then I use it as sort of like a life log almost. I will write a little sentence or 2 or 3 or paragraph, depending on just like what happened that day. like any little important things that would happen that day. And I use that in case I fall behind on this, which is my creative journal. This is my little snippet journal, my little, I call it, the type of cover this is a snippet journal. This, I call these my lovely journals. They're just literally my everyday, anything goes creative memory keeping journal. And yeah, if I fall behind in this, I know what I did on those days that I did something that I want to journal about, because I've logged it into this planner. And so that's pretty much what I use these weeklies for. And I've done that. So far, it's been working out for me every month to have that. You know, some days I don't journal anything on, and that's fine. That's just, those are work days, those days that I did absolutely nothing but sit in front of a computer and code things. Most of the time, it's my weekends, like my Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, that are filled up with things. And so I do that for every single month. So June's was, and I tried to use the current Cocoa Daisy insert. So this was June's kit, which was the Mediterranean Muse. And then July's was this, I forget what this one was called. It was the Underwater Sea one. And then for August, actually, so August is pretty blank because it just started. August, I'm actually using inserts from, were these last August? These might have been last year's August, which was Quiet Meadow, because I bought multiple passport sized inserts of this collection because it's one of my favorite collections. And this August collection of Flutterby, oh my God, it's like this collection, but like more I love purple. I love when like scrapbooking companies and stationery companies use purple, because nobody uses purple, not even fashion. I love a beautiful purple shirt, or I just love purple, like this purple, and people should use more purple. Mint green is my favorite color, like any sort of green like this, but purple is my second. I absolutely love purple, and it is not a color that people use. So anytime there's purple in any sort of kit and it's done well, I love it. So this month's Cocoa Daisy kit, Flutterby, is beautiful as well. And I only got one passport insert, and like that kit, everything from that kit is like sold out. So I'm trying to hoard it. So since I have extra of the Quiet Meadow, and this one was already punched. That's what it was. It was already punched because I guess I must have punched one of the inserts. So I wanted to use them because I'm like, this is already punched. Let's just use them. And so that's the theme that is going on in this for this month. But yeah, that's pretty much how I use this. And I have the rest of the months here. So this is sort of like a blankish month. And I would do the same. I will, when I get my Cocoa Daisy kit, I will take the Passport TN, I'll cut it in half, punch those 5 pages in, punch a grid, usually just a grid paper. I think that's just Muji paper that I cut down, and then set everything up that way. So I have October, November, and December in here. And this has been working so well for me, and I've used it. So, okay, so this is where I put the extra Cocoa Daisy pages in. So you know how I said that it's those first 5, so it's double. So I've cut it in half, and so I'm left over with just the blank paper. And so some of them I punch here, some of them I punch in here just to have some grid paper in the back, and I'll just take notes and stuff on here. Lately, I have been not punching those extra papers in and using them in my little journals. A lot of the times, if I need like a page to tip in, I will grab one of these and just tip them into that journal. And it's wonderful because I only use fountain pen when I journal in here. And the Cocoa Daisy paper takes fountain pen so well. I can't even, it's beautiful. These inserts, like I can write in fountain pen. I can use a fountain pen for this planner. I use this pen. It's a Kiki K pen, but the refill is a Muji 0.38 refill. And that's what I use in here, only because this paper is, it's the HP premium 32 paper, I think it's called. It's a little thicker than regular copy paper, but it doesn't really take fountain pen very well. I don't like it with fountain pen, not a whole lot. And so with the Muji pens, it's beautiful. So I tend to use the Muji pen on that. And so I just use the Muji pen on this. But this paper, the Cocoa Daisy inserts, oh my God, they take fountain pen so well. But that's lately, that's what I've been doing. I haven't been punching in these beautiful grid papers. I've been leaving them unpunched and keeping them in my journal kit so that I can use them in my journals. I'm gonna see if I have, yeah, I do. So this is how it ends up being, and I just leave them unpunched now so that way I can use them in my journal because I have plenty of paper back here. And then when I was in Japan, I did get some inserts. Granted, they're mini 5 or mini 6 inserts. I forget what the binder is called, but they are the same height as passport size, but they are the width of a pocket ring. So I don't get all the space here. It kind of goes up to like where this is. It's like that, which is fine. I'm trying to figure out if I have a page like that. So this is the Filofax paper. If you see here, this is this is a good example. This is the Filofax paper, and this is a Cocoa Daisy insert. So the mini 6 or mini 5 paper, whatever, it's the same height as the Cocoa Daisy insert, but it's just the same width as the Filofax. So I bought a couple of packs of those, and I kind of want to use those for like my little scrap paper instead of these beautiful Cocoa Daisy ones because I prefer to use them as tip-ins in my other journals. So this is my planner. This I use this every single month, and when I'm done, so like this is June through December, January through May, or June, I should take June out soon. I just archive them. I put them in another binder because I have so many of them now, and that's what I do. And then towards the end of the year, I compile all the inserts without the dividers. I always reuse the dividers, even though these are kind of getting all kind of beat up a little bit. I think I might make new ones soon, but I reuse my dividers, and the inserts, I just put them yearly in like an archive. I really just need like a bigger binder so I can put them in, but right now they just live in those loose rings, and I have like maybe 5 years already gathered there. But this works so well for me, and I absolutely love this size for planning. For like I've been toying with the idea of creating a journal in this. I don't know, I absolutely love rings. They just make me so happy, and I would just love to keep a journal this way. Like if I can keep this sort of journal in this, that would be great. My only thing is that the inserts are really small, and like this is as small as it is, and a lot of times I like putting in postcards, and most postcard sizes are like 4x6 usually, so these little A6 journals are perfect for kind of that sort of memory keeping, whereas this, I feel like it's just a little too small. I was toying with like making my own binder. I mean, I made that binder that I took with me to Japan. I made it using my A6 Foxy Fix TNs as a reference. So I think those are about A6 size, even though I can get like a smaller, like I think it's like 4.5 by 5.5 inserts in there. So not quite B6, but like in between A6 and B6 inserts I can get in there. But what I like about this is the feel of this small little binder in my hands, and it fits in a bag easily, and it's just cute and small and compact. I would love to keep like this as a journal and not a planner. My goal I would love to be one of those girlies who just use one book for like everything and just have planning and journaling all in the same book. But I love rings, but I also love creative journaling in like a bound kind of scrapbook journal. But then I also love to do my straight journaling in like just a regular A6 notebook. And so I need to have all the things, but I would love to experiment. I want to keep like a junk journal, or like an artsy, like more of an art journal. And I was debating doing it in They're pocket rings. But then I also have a bunch of like old vintage books that I got from Strand, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can just do a altered book and then do my art journal in that. And so like, I'm so indecisive, but I would love to one day keep a junk journal or a art journal probably, or scrapbook in a pocket rings, because I think that would be so fun. Anyway, I talked a lot about my pocket rings, but yes, I use this all the time, and I will use it next year, and it'll be set up the exact same way. Each month will be a little different because I rely on the Cocoa Daisy mini Daisy Dory, aka the Passport TN inserts, to kind of decorate for me. Really, no decoration happens here. Everything is just those beautiful inserts, and this is pretty much a workhorse. This will be the same for next year because I tried changing it up once and that was stupid. I just went right back to it because this works. You know, people are always saying they've found their unicorn system and all the things. This is it for planning for me. Like, this is how I plan. Okay, the other one that's been really consistent has been these little journals. I actually have my spring journal here, which is completely finished, and it's been finished since like the beginning of July, and I still haven't flipped it. It's taken me a month, but hopefully I'll flip it soon. But I have, this one was from March to July, so I have, I think it's the January to March one. I've already done that one, but these journals, these are anything goes journals, and I don't journal in them every day. I just journal in them when I want to stick stuff in, and when things have happened, and when I want to memory keep, and there's no set date. I love journaling in this way, and this is the one that I'm currently in. I will continue to do this because I absolutely love it. It's the only thing that has worked really consistent with just kind of how I journal. And honestly, these are more of a memory keeper. They're more memory keeping, if anything. I don't do a whole lot of art journaling or anything. A lot of the times it's me collecting junk, not junk, but you know, collecting things that come in the mail. I did put my sketches in here. I was doing James Luke Burke's last virtual voyage, and so a lot of my sketches have been ending up in here, but a lot of the times it's business cards, banned from a club, you know, like, and then I'll print out my pictures and put them in here. And I do my journaling classes in here, and I tip in all the things. And yeah, if I go to a restaurant, we steal the coasters and we cut them out and we put them in here. These are labels from something that I bought, business cards, more pictures that I print out. Yeah, this is like a memory keeping. It's, yeah, memory keeping junk journal. Print out all my pictures, do all my journaling. I absolutely love these journals, and I will keep them until I'm tired of keeping them. They're little A6. I have a Hobonichi pencil board in there, and I make a new cover usually when I'm prolific, it's usually every 2 months. There's 2 signatures in here, and usually it's a month per signature. This one was more months. This I think was about 3 months for this book. This one is on track to be maybe 3 months or maybe 2 months. We'll see how August goes, but generally it's 2 months per book, 1 month per signature. A lot of the times, if I'm not very prolific in it, it'll be 3 months. But look how chunky they get. And I have so many of these little journals on my bookshelf, and each one has a different cover because I just get really creative with them, and I absolutely love them, and they're all different and special. So this is definitely coming in with me next year. So I already have 2. And then we're going to talk about the last 2, which are in these Hobonichi light covers. Let's briefly talk about this one before we go into this one, which is an actual Hobonichi. This one is so I say faux Hobonichi because this is one of those Munimho covers. I got this one from Happy Scrappy, and it's beautiful. I believe the way that they make this, they do use the Mina Perhonen fabrics. They just kind of make their own little patchwork. I absolutely love those pieces. Covers from Hobonichi. They're so expensive. A lot of the times I love a couple of fabrics, but then I hate the rest of it. I think my favorite has been the spring mix for the April start for this year. That one, both of them, the A6 and the A5 were beautiful, but they sold out really quickly. I know because I was on the Hobonichi website in April. Those are really pretty. But this I bought from Happy Scrappy, and I customized the inside. I wanted it pink on the inside. And yeah, it's sort of like a pinkish... It's pink. I hate the back. I don't really like these two patterns in the back, but I love these fabrics. I love these fabrics, and they're embroidered. This is a tweed, but these are all embroidered, and I love just feeling it. This is just regular cotton fabrics, but these are embroidered. I love the texture. I love feeling the fabric. That's my favorite. I don't put the plastic cover on covers on these because I love feeling the fabric. I mean, that's why I make my fabric journals, because I love feeling those textiles. So this one, I think I talked about this journal some time ago, but it's basically the journal that I've been keeping to write letters to my future person. This is just my dream person, my ideal partner. Yeah, I write these lists of like 10 things I love about you. It's kind of a play on 10 things I hate about you, but keep list, and then I literally write letters to this person, and that is what this journal is. I won't show more of that, but it's basically, I use a Muji A6. These are the Muji high quality A6 notebooks. I absolutely love them. I think I just use my Muji pen. Yeah, just use a Muji pen in here. And I have that in this cover that I did some surgery and removed the butterfly straps because I don't like them. And then I made these with just, I don't know what these were. I think they were probably hair ties in the bands. I just sewed these two together because the pink matched with the cover, the pink cover. Just to give it a closure, I prefer a strap closure, a band closure, I mean an elastic, as opposed to the butterfly ones. So that is this. This one, I haven't been journaling in it as often as I would like, but I would love to keep this. And so that's one that's coming with me. And then I want to talk about this one. This one's the actual Hobonichi, and this one, we went on a journey this year, and we're still going on that journey. Again, I made one of those bands with just the flat, like the satin elastic. This is a Hobonichi cover. This is the Blossom, and I think, I don't remember what year this was. What year? This used to remember how they used to include the year with the Hobonichi label? It used to have the year. I forget what year this was. Might have been 2022. 2023, I think it was 2022. It's the Blossoms cover. It's the A6 Blossoms cover. I, again, got rid of the butterfly closure straps because I hate them so much. This one I got from a Facebook Marketplace. I got it used from Facebook Marketplace. Don't put a cover on it, so mostly the back is really dingy. It's fabric. I use it everywhere. The back was very much so about to get dingy. My friend told me something that I can use to probably get the stuff off of it. I just don't remember what it was, but I'm sure I can just use some sort of fabric remover or whatever. Anyway, that is the cover. I actually have all the things that I use in one of these Aristocat folders. These are the Hobonichi folders. I absolutely love, so one of my favorite things from Hobonichi are the accessories. I absolutely love the accessories. I got a whole bunch of these folders when I was in Tokyo at the Tobichi, I think that's what it's called, the store, the Hobonichi store there. I love me a good pencil board. I think I have the Aristocats pencil board in here. I have, what's this one? I have this pencil board. I got this one in Tokyo. In here, I will pick up pretty much all the A6 pencil boards that I think are cute. And then I have the Dalmatians one. I also picked this one up in Tokyo in here. Love me the A6 accessories. Love these folders. They come in so handy. But yeah, I have one back here. And then I have a Hobonichi HON. This is the Liberty Fabrics HON for this year, and they don't really fit in the covers. Like I can't put this piece into there. It's not gonna fit, but the back does fit into the back. I don't know if it's for all of these covers or just this one because it's like a fabric cover. I don't actually know, but the back does fit in the back pocket here. And if I close it, you'll see. It aligns with the Han, but it doesn't align with the back. That's because the Han is a little bit bigger because of the hardcover. I don't mind. I love seeing this cover when I open this up. Sometimes I will take this out with the band and I'll carry this out with me. Sometimes if I'm going out and I'm carrying this journal as well, or even my planner, I just take this journal right out of the cover and close it with the band and put that in my bag. For the most part, it lives here. And so I use my Hobonichi HON not as a planner because my planner is this. What I use it for is what I call my soulscape journaling. I think I shared a video when I first started doing this in 2021 or 2022, and I used like a planner that I got at like TJ Maxx, one of those planners. I used a planner and then I used a regular, I think it was a B6 Muji notebook. And then the following year, I used a B6 paper test planner for it. This year, I used the B6 paper test in 2024. So in 2023, I used the Muji notebook and the plan, and the ending of 2022, I used the planner, and that led into 2023. It was like sort of like a VEX system. It was half and then half in the Muji. And this is basically just a journal that I keep for personal journaling, for journaling with the moons, the full moon and the new moon, for taking astrology notes, self-improvement notes, law of attraction notes, any like sort of webinar that I do, I take notes, and then for quotes and passages that are inspiring and that I want to remember. And so that's pretty much what I use this journal for. I call it my soulscape journal, only because I did a lot of journaling and a lot of hard journaling and a lot of personal development in these journals. This year, for the most part, it's been mostly personal journaling, very little moon journaling. I kind of fell out of that a little bit recently. No astrology notes, which is insane. Some self-improvement, law of attraction things, and a lot of quotes and passages. You'll see, I'm gonna do a little quick flip of this. I don't know why I say quick, because it's not gonna be quick, but you know what I mean. So this is pretty much my key. I use these stickers that I get at Daiso, and I use a couple of colors of these mild liners, and each one goes to the one. I got this idea from Stephanie at the Journal Diaries. I will leave her link to her YouTube channel down below. She uses Hobonichis for all kinds of things, and I, in the beginning of the year, was debating getting a Hobonichi HON because I went to Yoseka for the preview and was looking at all the Hobonichi stuff. I absolutely love the Liberty Fabrics cover. I love the HON. Like, it feels so good in your hands. I just don't have a good track record with Hobonichi because it is a dated planner. Like, if we go to a blank spread, it's dated, and I hate these quotes at the bottom. I don't need the dates, like, you know, just, yeah, I'm not very good with the Hobonichi at all. What I love is that it does have a monthly, and I'll tell you more of how I use the monthlies. Love the monthlies, but in terms of this, I don't need the dates. I just need blank pages. What would work better probably for me if I want to keep in the Hobonichi ecosystem would be the day free, because it does have the dated monthly in the front, and then these don't have this. They still have those god-awful quotes. I don't really like the quotes. I'm not a big fan, but there's no date up here. But I like the HON because it's hardcover, and once I take this out for the, you know, at the end of the year, I can just put it on my shelf and it'll look pretty like a hardcover book. I love it so much. Anyway, debating getting this, watched a bunch of Stephanie's videos, and she uses her Hobonichis in so many different ways, and she was using a Hobonichi HON from I think last year as a commonplace journal, and she did this, the whole key thing, and she just used, you know, she just put thing and just used like that, and she completely ignored the dates, and I'm like, girl, you can ignore the dates too. And so that's kind of what I did, and honestly, it's working well for me. So we're ignoring the dates. This is supposed to be the index, but I just haven't gone back and indexed anything, and I should because we're in August. And then the monthlies. So how I'm using the monthlies, I'm using them to track my artist dates and significant things that have happened, and you know, all the astrological things that are happening. Pretty much how I use the monthly in my paper tests and in the Muji and the planner, that random planner that I had. So the paper test had the monthlies, and then it had 7 pages, right? It had the monthlies, and then it had the weekly pages. And so I used the monthly, and then the pages in between were those pages. And it was like that. The Hobonichi has all the months in the front, and then the daily pages per month. So pretty much that's how I use the monthlies. I use them to track the astrology for the month, and then for any sort of webinars, like this was Deborah Silverman's astrological immersion. I track any, like my one little word calls. I track any artist dates that I go on, any events that I go to, and different things like that. Important, like sort of turning points for me personally will go in here. Anything that relates to my personal growth journey goes in here, mostly to track artist dates, to be frank, and like the astrology and all the things. But yeah, that's how I use the monthlies. And a lot of the time it's pretty much copying events from here to my Filofax because I need to track all of the artist dates that I go on in both places. But this is solely like this. There's no doctor's appointments in here or anything like that. It is solely my artist dates and any classes, any webinars, anything that has happened that has personally affected me goes in here. That's how I use the monthlies. I have this bookmark in here. It's attached to my bingo card, and then I got this in Japan, and I think it's for a different planner system, but I have it in here. And then after all the monthlies, I have my one little word bingo card, because I pretty much reference this bingo card more than I do in my one little word journal, and I've just been marking up as I've been doing them. And so I printed it off really, really small and stuck it in here along with my vision board that I made for one little word. And then I pretty much copied all of this from my one little word journal, and it's basically my word of the year and all of my supporting words. And so I haven't really been following my words for the year, I don't think. Yeah, I haven't really been practicing flow, I don't think. And actually I have. When I think about it, I have actually been sort of like going with the flow of things and not stressing myself out over stuff that I would normally stress out about. And it's been really nice to just not like stress over things that I can't control. That's the whole point of flow. But yeah, these are my words. And then we start off in January. And so how I've been using these pages. The first page that is just like this kind of blank overview for like the month, I just label it January forecasts, and then I write the theme of the month as it pertains to my astrology, and then I jot down a list of all the important astrological dates, and I have that for every month. So every month has that page, and I just do the same thing for every month. And I get my theme for the year from an astrology app. And so it's catered to my birth chart. And so I do that for every single month. And then I use the pages as pages. In the beginning of the year, I was reading Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart, and that was one of my goals. And I'm like, I think I stopped in like March. I'm so bad. And then I was jotting down just certain phrases from each passage and then doing a little bit of journaling underneath. And that's kind of how I started the year. When I want to like jot down bigger passages or things that I find on Instagram, I just print them out on sticker paper and I cut them out and just stick them in. So this was a Young Pueblo post that he did on Instagram. And these are all just different passages from different things. Like this was Melody Beattie, but this was also the guidebook of one of my astrology card decks, more posts, and yeah, interspersed with personal journaling. So the dot system will tell me what's what. These are pretty much quotes and passages. This is all personal journaling. And that's what this is. I don't even decorate it. Personal journaling, more quotes, this was moon journaling. It's a different color and a different sticker. Personal journaling. And then we're in February. More personal journaling. Sometimes I do lists. This was for my bingo card. I wrote down the actual list before I actually did the bingo card. This is a thing that I do every year. It is jotting down a timeline of my life so far. I talk more about this in my unfurling course. This was an Instagram passage that I literally just print out the whole thing and I put it in here. More journaling. And that is pretty much, these are notes. So I put it under personal journaling, but it's more notes. Moon journaling, quotes, personal journaling, more personal journaling. And then what I was trying to do was do a reflections page each month, but that died. Like, I don't think I did Marches. So yeah, I don't think I did Marches. But this is pretty much how I use this. Again, these are more passages. Just print them out on sticker paper and just put them in. Yeah, March reflections. There's nothing there. This was a long email that I got that I wanted to keep, and so I just printed out the whole email on sticker paper and just glued them in. And so this is a different label. This was more about law of attraction. So I have 2 emails from Mandy Morris that I printed out, and I just labeled it that because that's what it is. It's about manifestation. And then these are empty pages. And so what I'm planning to do with the empty pages is if I have any notes or any emails or any quotes and stuff, I'm just gonna stick them in here and just fill them out. That is how Stephanie uses her Hobonichis, like completely ignoring the dates and everything, and wherever there's just pages and space to journal, that is where she journals. And so I am taking so many tips from her to do that, because these dates, I will get hung up on the dates. I was full moon in Libra and I didn't do my moon journaling, so I just skipped it. Some quotes and then some more passages that I wanted to print out. I loved this. So I always write where I get the image from. And then this is all empty pages in April. And so this journal, I fell out of it. So you'll see May, not a whole lot of journaling, and then I stick something in, and then journaling, and then blank pages. Like I think around April, May was when I was falling out of love with this, and I wasn't pulling it out as often as I should. And then June I tried, there's a little bit more, but not a whole lot. And so I put in an email over here. This was a really, really long email. And so it took up multiple pages. So I used whichever month I had the most empty pages, which was June at the time. And so they all went in there. So now I have just these 2 pages left. And then July, which was the last month, and I really didn't journal a whole lot in here for July. That's it. That's literally it. And so I left off on the 9th, and I have the rest of the month, and now we're in August, and I have to do my August forecast, and I haven't done that. This pencil board should be there because we're in August now. So what I normally do, I mean, I stopped here, but I just white out the quotes so that I can use up the whole page. And it makes this part of the journal super chunky, but yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know. So for next year, I really want a Hobonichi HON. And I'm really hoping that I can get the Hobonichi HON that I want, given the whole tariff situation here in the United States and like the whole fiasco with Hobonichi and just all the things that are changing. I bought this one from Amazon Japan, but I don't even know if I'll be able to buy things from Amazon Japan and have them shipped here. I'm probably most likely going to have to buy my stuff from Yoseka and or JetPens, depending who has it in stock. But I would ideally love another HON in the Liberty Fabrics cover if they do a HON with the Liberty Fabrics. I think they will, because they've been doing them in the Liberty Fabrics covers, and so I'm really just hoping that I love the Liberty Fabrics version of the HON, but pretty much whichever HON that I like the cover of, that is the one that I would love to use for this again. And I know this year I've been like, I kind of fell off of it, but in July I kind of gotten back into using this. And once I can reframe my mind around ignoring all of these dates and just using it as a journal, as journal pages. Once I did that, I mean, it took me a bit. It just made sense. And what I do is I actually number the bottom because, again, I'm supposed to be using this lovely index in the front to index the pages by oh my God, by the key. So like this is a journal entry on page 198, and what I was going to do is use the entry here, wherever the entry that it started. So June 7th. So I would go to June 7th and write this, like write journal entry, the date. And that's how I was going to archive it in that index. And so I just have to do that. I have to go back and do that. But ideally, I would love to continue this, because what I've found is that I need a separate place to just journal. Because this, not all the time can I just go in here and just journal. Like I would prefer for this to be more of a memory keep of just like what I got up to, you know, and like sticking things in and what those things mean. I want this to be more of a memory keeper instead of like personal journaling. Because, you know, this journal, I take pictures of this journal. This journal, I don't take pictures of it often, if at all. And it's because I do a lot of personal journaling in here. And I want that separation of the personal journaling and like the random note taking about personal growth and personal development separate from my more junk journal, art journal, memory keeping journals. And I think a lot of us do that, right? A lot of us who have multiple journals kind of split the two. But yeah, I like this. And I like the size of this better than the B6 ones, the B6 journals that I was using. Not keen on the dated daily pages of the Hobonichi. I'm fine with the monthlies. It's just these dated pages. What I saw somebody doing, and I don't know who it was. I want to say it was maybe Abby Sai. It might not be, but it was like a while ago. They bought a Hobonichi HON, but then they gutted the pages and then they put an MD notebook in, but they used the HON cover because they like the cover so much. That's what they did. And I like, these notebooks are so expensive that like, I kind of want to use the paper, but that is an idea. If I love the cover so much, just gutting it and getting like an MD grid notebook or something and putting it in here. But no, I think just ignoring the dates might be fine for me. But yeah, no, I definitely want to keep this for next year and continue to fill this out for this year, but also to continue using the Hobonichi HON for next year for my Soulscape journal. Because how wonderful would that be that, like, I think Stephanie was talking about this for her commonplace, like having all the years, having all the different Liberty Fabric cover HONs in the same size, like on the shelf. That would look so cute. I can see why James likes keeping his like 5-year journals consistent, because at the end of all that time, you'll have like a library of the same journal, the same size, but for different years and different parts of your life. And it just looks aesthetically pleasing. I feel like all of us journalers just, that's how we see our journals at the end, right? On like a bookshelf as a book, as a record of our lives. But I like that idea. And so here's to hoping I can get the HON that I want and that things aren't insanely crazy at Hobonichi release, because I mean, I know not everyone who follows me is from the United States, but like our whole crazy tariff situation seems like it's going to make it hard for people to get the Hobonichi things that they want. And I know Hobonichi changed up their whole free shipping thing. There's no longer free shipping from Hobonichi. So that's going to affect, I think, how people buy as well. And for the United States, you know, I think what they're doing is you can still buy the notebooks. It's more of the covers, the cases, and the accessories that we cannot buy. Hobonichi won't ship it, so you can't buy it from Hobonichi directly. But on launch day, if you want a cover, you have to buy the cover bundled with a notebook. So if you want a cover, you're going to have to get, you know, an English original, English planner, or the Avec, or the Day Free with the cover. And I know a lot of people like buying multiple covers, and so each cover that they buy, they'll have to pick a notebook to go with that cover. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Like I've never been a Hobonichi person. Last year I did stay up for like the release and stuff like that. And I just ended up buying my stuff from Amazon Japan instead, because I think I wanted to buy other things from Japan that I found on Amazon Japan. So it just made sense to buy my Hobonichi things, the ones that I wanted that were on Amazon Japan through Amazon Japan, but like when I bought whatever this year was, the whole Aristocats Dalmatians thing, I bought directly from Hobonichi to get the pouches and I think pencil boards and folders. I pretty much bought the accessories that year. I don't think I bought a notebook that year. But yeah, so this launch day I think is going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling, I don't know, I don't think things are going to sell out as quickly probably this year because of the whole tariff situation. I think people here in the States will be strategic about what they buy from Hobonichi directly. I think what will sell out will probably be the planners and accessories at the third-party stores. So Jet Pens, Yoseka, whichever other stores carry Hobonichi. I think the Boston General Store, I think that's the store. It's Atlas Stationers carry Hobonichi, I don't know. But basically those third-party retailers will definitely sell out really quickly, I think. But I'm just very curious what the lineup will be. I'm very curious about the price spike at like Yoseka and Japens, etc. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting Hobonichi time. But I really just want a HON. That's my primary. I'm hoping for a Liberty Fabrics HON. I'm really hoping that Hobonichi does more of these pouches this year. Love this. This is the one from this year in the Liberty Fabrics Michelle fabric, and this was such a lifesaver. I love this. If I'm going to a journaling class and all I need is my notebook and like a pen and a couple of highlighters, I just take this. Love this. I would love to collect these in other Liberty Fabric like versions, and so I'm wondering if they'll come out with that. I'm just really excited for all the Liberty Fabric stuff because they were my favorite. I'm excited to see what the new pencil boards would be and the new folders, and just out of curiosity would just love to see what the Yumi Kirigishi line is if they do another collab with them. I have the folders for the little gifts, and I have the A5 pencil board from this year. I am considering buying an A6 pencil board, and the A6 pencil board from this year from Jet Pens, just to have it, because I do like what I use often are these pencil boards. I primarily use A6. A6 is my go-to size. I make all my little journals A6, and I love having a pencil board in those journals because it marks my spot, but also if I need a hard surface, I just love a pencil board. I used to get the clear ones from Jet Pens all the time, but now I can get really cute ones from Hobonichi. So I'm really curious to see what the pencils boards will be, the Yumi Kirigishi, because I absolutely love the wallpaper weeks, and I don't need a weeks. I don't know what I would use it for. I would totally buy a weeks now in August from someone who's not using it, or, just whoever has it available, just to, I don't know, because the cover is so pretty. I would not know what to use it for, but I'm very interested to see what the Yumi Kirigishi stuff is. I know her covers tend to sell out really quickly. Luckily, I haven't really liked any of the covers. I think the little gifts one is really cute, the A6 one, but this is really too dark for me. Like, it's too dark. This is more my aesthetic. The lighter covers, the lighter fabrics. Like, I absolutely love, the Liberty Fabrics one because they're floral and pretty. I don't need Hobonichi covers, but, I've been tempted. I've been tempted to get the Michelle cover or the Hollyhocks. Like, I absolutely love that Hollyhocks pattern. Yeah, I think I'm like everyone. I'm very curious to see what the new lineup is going to be. I'm very curious to see how September 1st is going to go down. And yeah, I will be witness to all the madness because I do every year, even though I never buy directly from Hobonichi. And when I do buy directly from Hobonichi, I just wait a couple of weeks after and get what I want. And generally it's because the stuff that I want is not the stuff that sells out really quickly. But yeah, very curious. I am gonna go to Yoseka like I did last year and see the preview because that was so helpful to like see everything in person and be able to touch them, and you just get a better idea of what exactly you want when you can see them in person. I know not everybody can see them in person prior to buying. I just so happen to live in New York City and have that opportunity because Yoseka does it every year. Definitely have that marked on my calendar. I think it's August 27th. 22nd. It's August, let's see. Let's go August. It's this August 22nd is when they'll have I believe it's the 22nd is when they'll have the Hobonichi preview at Yoseka. Yeah, I'm just hoping for a Han in a cover that I like, really. Hopefully in a Liberate Fabrics, because I love this. I love feeling the texture of a fabric cover. But yeah, I think I talked enough about all of my notebooks. Just to do a recap for next year, or for this year, what's been working for me has been my little A6 scrappy journals, my lovely snippet journals, my pocket Filofax, my rings as my planner. Those have been working. Those are the most two consistent things that I've been keeping this year. And then third will be the Hobonichi HON as my Soulscape journal. And then the fourth one will be this, and this will just come with me every single year until I fill up that notebook, and then I'll just replace it with a new notebook. But these are like my mainstay. These three journals. Pocket journals, all of them A6, and pocket Filofax, or like passport size TN, right? Yeah, and so I think this is what I'll keep doing for next year, is just using my Cocoa Daisy inserts and the principal insert, and just building up my planner that way. I hand make these with so many different scrap pieces of paper and stuff, and fabrics and everything like that. This is my more creative outlet. And then whatever Hobonichi I end up getting. Kind of tempted to get another cover. I would like, okay, so if Hobonichi, going back to Hobonichi, oh my God, just bear with me. If Hobonichi comes out with an embroidered cover that is in similar to my aesthetic, I would totally get it. This one I got from a Facebook, I think I got it used from Facebook Marketplace. So one of the Hobonichi groups there, that is where I got this from. And I love anything fabric and embroidered. That's kind of what I go for. So like, I don't like, while I really love the Liberty Fabrics covers, I go for something that's a bit more textural. You know, I will pay the money for an embroidered cover. I mean, this one I got used, so I don't think I paid the full Hobonichi price for it, which was fine because I ended up like cutting the butterfly clasp. So I can't really sell this again because I kind of cut it. I mean, I can, but yeah, I guess it depends on the designs that they come out with and then the price. I may actually just go on eBay and see what other embroidered covers from the past are about, and maybe get me a new cover for my new Han, but I think I will wait to see what the Han actually looks like. Anyway, who's excited for Hobonichi? Clearly. I am. I'm just excited to see the lineup. Like, that's all I want. I just want to see the lineup. I want to see what's coming. I want to see all the things. But those are my journals. And these are what's coming. This works for me. I think this works for me. It's manageable. What I would love to add for next year would be like a separate art journal. So a journal that is purely for sticking and gluing and using paints and markers and all kinds of things. And that's sort of what I'm thinking about experimenting with this altered book, is just using it as like a junk journal, collage journal, art journal sort of thing. I think that will complement this. Because even though I do intend to do artsy stuff in here, I don't. It's all purely memory keeping. This is what my scrapbooking has turned into, is these journals. And so I would love something where I can just play, you know, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do an altered journal, if I'm going to do another one of Nazi's Artist in Bloom journals, or if I'm going to do a rings. I have no idea, but I think that's the one thing that I would love to add for next year, is to do some art journaling. Honestly, I kind of want to start this year, and I might actually start this year, but that might be something that I want to add to the lineup. But for so far, this is what has been working, and this is probably what I will be doing next year. We'll find out in a couple of months, right? But anyway, thank you so much for being here, friends. I really hope you've been enjoying all of these little flip throughs of all my journals, because that's what I have. I have to flip through this big chunker here. This will probably be my next video. And I also want to do like a fountain pen video. I've accumulated enough fountain pens, I think, that I can do like what's in my fountain pen collection sort of video. So be on the lookout for that, because I think I might do that one as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this lovely video. Would love to know all of your Hobonichi thoughts. If you are going to get any Hobonichis this year, and the new lineup should start soon. I think it starts like on the 5th or the 6th when they start showing like the new lineup. So would love to see maybe towards the ending of this month what everyone's thinking of getting. But yeah, I would love to hear current Hobonichi thoughts. Anyway, thanks again, friends. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.